listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Hey, welcome to I Am Refocused Radio. We are here once again today. We have another show lined up for y'all. We have our special guest. We're going to talk to the founder of 1106 Design, 1106design.com, all about book publishing. And that is going to be a hot topic because a lot of people out there are working on books and getting their books published, and maybe need someone that can be expertise in that field. We have the one and only Michele Defilippo, and she is going to tell us everything about her entrepreneurship journey and about this amazing brand and what she does for authors all around the world. So first and foremost, Michele, thanks for your time. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Shamaya. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I hope I can share a little bit of what I know with your audience.
Perfect, because that's what this platform is all about. So when it comes to 1106 Design and what it offers, end-to-end book design, production, publishing services, and you and your team providing a one-stop shop for independent authors. Before we dive into the brand, kind of give the audience a little bit about your background. What inspired you to launch this business?
Well, I've actually been in the book publishing business for 51 years now. My first job was at Crown Publishing in New York City. Then I came to live in Phoenix, Arizona, and with every intention of just getting a job in graphic design and publishing, but that didn't pan out. It turns out that the opportunities in Phoenix were a lot less than they were in New York, where I grew up. So I worked in a bunch of different jobs for about 7 years, couldn't make more than minimum wage. So I decided that was for the birds. I better do something else. So that was back in 1980. So my first venture into owning a business was to own a typesetting business. Typesetting businesses don't exist anymore. Steve Jobs put every one of us out of business. But that took about 10 years. And I did work on a lot of books as the owner of that company, too. And so basically, I came up through the ranks and have always worked in publishing the way we understand it traditionally. And that all changed in around the year 2000, when self-publishing really took off. And so then I refocused the business on book publishing exclusively, as opposed to just graphic design and some publishing. And that has been just an amazing journey to help authors. I've never seen so many authors in my life, but I also haven't seen so many avenues for misinformation as there seem to be now. And so that is what has inspired me to do this podcasting, because so many authors are falling into the hands of people who are really not giving them good advice or information or even good books. And so I would like to get the word out there. There is a better way to go about it than what you would typically find if you search, Google and look for information.
And with that said, that kind of separates you from a lot of people already. The fact that you've been in this industry and you didn't just wake up one day and say, hey, this would be a great business idea, and you just went for it. You actually are invested into this industry, and I'll commend you for that, because to your point, there is a lot of information, quote unquote, that is available with a search on Google. But to that point, introduce your brand and the core values of your brand, and how this is something that is a little bit different than the ones that just kind of pop up everywhere nowadays.
So the short version is that 1106 Design helps authors create beautiful books, just like you'd find in a bookstore. And we help them with all the services they need and all the advice they need to accomplish that step by step. And we help them after the book is finished. Then we help them distribute that book without a publisher, so that they can make more money every time they sell a book. And that phrase in there, without a publisher, is really the key thing, because when authors go searching on Google, not only do they think they need a publisher, but they will find many, many publishers. And like you said, sometimes those entities are people who have just gotten into the business because they see a demand, not because they know anything about publishing. So my message to authors is to follow traditional, to follow self-publishing the way it was originally intended, and that is with the author being the publisher and keeping complete control of the book and the process and the payments that you will receive when you do sell a book. And that's what we help authors do.
And to dive into that, to that point, someone listening right now, they may know a person or them themselves who are interested in becoming an author, or, you know, work with someone like yourself for the next project, the next book. Kind of break the differences between the pros and cons of publishers that are already out there versus, to your point, becoming your own self-publisher with assistance from brands like you who are helping the independent authors to do their own way, their own course.
The publishing models they're basically three of them. We're all familiar with traditional publishing. That's where back in the day, the publisher would hire all the experts to produce the book and create the book. And because they took all of that financial risk, they would then keep most of the revenue from book sales. And that was a fair business model, right? The author paid nothing, controlled nothing, and was paid a small royalty when a book was sold. Now, independent publishing, what the model we follow as it was originally intended, we help authors publish and distribute their books in their own name. So under our model, yes, you do pay us for our services, but you control everything and you are paid 100% of the net income when a book is sold. We do not participate in any way in your revenue stream after the book is done. We charge you for our services only, and then we're out of the picture. Now, what you'll find online mostly is publishing companies. They will call themselves by various names. Sometimes they will call themselves independent publishing companies. They'll call themselves hybrid publishers. They'll call themselves self-publishing companies, but they're all basically the same thing. They charge the author to produce the book, and they keep most of the net revenue from book sales, even though they have no investment whatsoever in the book. So under that model, the most common model you'll find, the author pays for everything, the author controls nothing, and the author only makes a small royalty when a book is sold. So to my way of thinking, more authors should ask the question, well, what's wrong with that picture? Because the person who makes the investment, the entity who makes the investment, should be the one that receives all the revenue, don't you think? I mean, that's a standard practice in business, but these hybrid publishers are getting money on the front end, and they're also getting money on the back end, and the author comes out, not very good in that equation.
Once again, talking to our guest today, Michele Defilippo, and her website, you can go visit 1106design.com. She's the founder of that business, 1106 Design. Someone who is a veteran in writing. They're not worried about books and how to create books, but they want a better quality of service and transparency, if you will, because it sounds like 1106 Design does a great job in having transparency between you and your client.
Yeah, we like to be 100% transparent. In fact, if you go to our website, you will see every service we offer and the price for that service. And that's not the case when you're dealing with these so-called independent publishing companies. They engage in high pressure sales tactics. If the author doesn't ask the appropriate questions, they don't volunteer the information. And a lot of times the author will get hooked into a contract and not really be told the true price until they're already signed a contract and they're stuck. So that offends me, having been in the publishing industry for 50 years. I just think that's a terrible way to run a business. And on top of that, some of these companies don't even produce a good book. So it's just negative all the way around. And so I want to get out there and talk about that and try to just teach authors what questions to ask, if nothing else, so that they can make an informed decision and decide which path is right for them.
And speaking of questions, that's something that is very important in the early stage of the process when you work with clients. The ones that become a successful candidate to work with your business, what are some of the common threads that a good author will have in place when they come to talk to you? What are some of the things that they should have in preparation before they even consider to publish a book?
Well, all we need from the author is the manuscript, right? We at the moment, we don't offer ghostwriting. We may do that somewhere down the road, but all we need from the author is a manuscript. And we will walk them through the process step by step and answer all their questions. We've been in business since 2001, and we've done about 4,000 books since that time. So there's no question an author can ask us that we probably haven't already answered, and we don't think anyone is dumb or stupid for asking a question. We want you to be educated. We want you to feel good about the process and to feel good about this new publishing venture that you're entering, because it's scary. And I'm older now, I'm 71, so I remember life before Google. But I think it's very hard now to make a decision because we actually have access to too much information rather than being able to trust someone who will sit down with you and answer your questions one-on-one and help you make an informed decision about which way you want to go.
Looking at the clients that you serve many with the stat you just shared moments ago. Without giving details of the specific book or client, what are some of the common threads that you've seen with clients who have watched their book increase sales and just awareness of their professional work?
Well, we work for a lot of business owners and coaches and consultants. And a book is one of the best ways to promote a business or a coaching practice or a consulting practice, because it allows people to learn a lot more about you than they would just from a website. And it also allows them to think about working with you in a way that's non-confrontational. They may not be ready to speak to a salesperson yet. They may not want to put themselves out there yet. So if you put a book on your website, like I did, my little book is 88 pages and it's downloaded thousands of times. And anybody can go there and provide an email address and you will get it for free. It's really a good way to engage with customers and answer some of their questions without that personal confrontation that they may not be quite ready for yet.
Once again, talking to our guest today, the founder of 1106 Design, the one and only Michele Defilippo. And when people look at the services on your website, 1106design.com, you go from package deal, cover design, interior page design, ebook formatting, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, even all the way to book marketing, trailers, and promotional items. I mean, that's awesome. It's like you have a one-stop shop. We don't have to go to all these different websites. We can literally go to 1106design.com and feel comfortable that there's not a missing piece, in the process of getting our book, together. When you have these packages put together, how does the first meeting go as far as the client and you making sure that it's a good fit for both sides?
We actually, you'll find a typical package on our website, but we don't, unlike some companies, we don't force people into packages because every author is different, every book is different. And so that first conversation will just basically ask you what you think you need, and then we'll go into what we would recommend for you personally. It's very one-on-one. We're not a book factory where we're bringing in thousands of authors a week or a month and giving everybody the same boilerplate solution. It's not an assembly line here. And we follow that through really from the first day to the last. You won't be given a long list of FAQs to read every time you ask a question. We'll answer your question. I have a project manager named Rhonda. She's been with me for 17 years now. And most of the members of my staff have been here for 20 years, for the full time I've been in business. So we want it to be personal because that's the way a book should be made. We enjoy that too. We're not trying to give you the same solution as we give to other people.
You offer coaching and support as well. So kind of break that service down versus in one aspect, I read that with the services, you have some coaching included. But if people are not ready just yet, you also have it separate. Kind of explain to the audience the opportunity there.
Yeah, I do. I did put that on my website because I want to encourage people to begin the conversation with us where they might not otherwise be able to do that. When they sign up with us and we're working on their book, they have full access to me and to everyone on my team who can, answer any question they might have. But if they're just getting started, they just want to dip their toe in the water, I do have a coaching subscription for $49 a month. And that allows you to ask up to 5 questions a month that I will answer by email. And we'll play it by ear. I always want to meet your needs. I never want people to feel like there are limits. I want you to feel like we're on your side and we're a key member of your team as you launch this publishing enterprise because that's the way it works best.
That's not a bad deal at all. So for $49 a month, you basically someone can correspond via email with you or your team and limited amount of questions. And could that be a tool for people who are new to this? Like maybe it's going to be the very first book that they release, or maybe it's going to be the second one that's better than the first one because the past experience. Is there an opportunity for them to kind of have a better strategy, like you said, instead of just jumping right into a deal with you?
Absolutely. We want to meet your needs. It's not a situation where we've created this structure and it's rigid and you have to do things our way. I mean, of course, we do have a process once the job starts, but our overall philosophy is that we want to meet your needs first and together we'll create a great book. It's very much a collaboration. In the course of a project, for example, we'll answer 300 messages back and forth. And people don't realize that's how much time that goes into it. And that's separate. That's over and above the actual hours that is spent on the editing and the design and the proofreading and the ebook and all of the rest that you might be ordering. So there's a tremendous amount of time that goes into creating a book. Again, we create that book at the traditional publisher level for you. We don't give you templates. We don't do the same cover design for 150 people at a time. It's custom. We listen to you. We ask you what you want, and then we give you our designers' idea of what might be, and we work back and forth until you're absolutely delighted with everything that we do for you.
It's almost like someone, excuse my metaphor, but someone offers to sell you a bike versus someone offers to sell you a car. The car is going to have a little bit more features, a little bit more security than a bike would.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want everyone to succeed because if our authors succeed, we have as much stake in it as they do, because if they succeed and they sell books, they might write another one. They might refer us to their friends and family who are publishing books. So we're big believers in karma, right? Do the right thing, live by the golden rule, and it'll all work out for you.
Once again, talking to our guest today, the founder of 1106 Design, Michele Defilippo. And man, I have to say, this is really good. The way you are really going the extra mile to help your clients, and you're giving people options. You're not saying, hey, this is the red ribbon you must do with us, and here's the blue ribbon you must do. You almost allow them to customize it within the guidance of your experience.
Well, yeah, and it's the way we would want to be treated if we were doing business with a company, right? You don't want to feel like a number that just has to be slotted into a pre-designed process. So, for example, some authors will come to us with a manuscript that has already been edited, and that's fine. We'll pick up with the other services to take it from that point to distribution in the author's name so that they make more money for every book that's sold. It's all good, right? If you do the right thing comes back to you.
1106design.com, bookmark that, and definitely get in touch with Michele and her team. What is the best way someone is ready? Like after hearing this show, they're like, okay, I have something in works already. I'm ready to work right now with Michele. What's the best way that they can approach you and your team?
Oh, that's great. They can go to 1106design.com. The best way to start is to go there and fill out our contact form. That tells us a little bit about you, it provides a few details about your book so that we have a basis on which to begin the conversation with you. And once you fill out that contact form, we'll be in touch. We'll reach out to you to schedule that first phone call and learn even more about you.
Been talking to Michele Defilippo, and go visit her website. She's the founder of 1106 Design. Go visit 1106design.com. Once again, Michele, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Shemaiah. I appreciate it very much.